In order to subscribe to my channel, please click here or click here. Please share, comment, and like my videos and channel. Hey guys, this is Gaurav. Welcome to SaaS with ServiceNow. Today's session is about import sets in ServiceNow. If you are working as a developer or administrator, you might have got so many requirements for migration of data from another systems into ServiceNow. Like knowledge management, where your organization was using legacy knowledge management platform, then they wanted to migrate to ServiceNow system. Or you want to upload some data in different tables in ServiceNow like users, request, and incident. ServiceNow has an application called System Import Sets, which helps admins to import data to ServiceNow, which is aligned with the fields of ServiceNow table. Let's start with key terms we have in import sets. The first term we have is import set table. Import set table is a table that acts as a staging location for all the records imported from a data source before data is transformed into ServiceNow. Fields on these tables are generated automatically based on imported data and should not be modified manually. So it's kind of a staging table, a pre-table before the target table. So when you import some data, it keeps that data into first table. That is the staging table, and that's called import set table. Then we have data source. Data source is a record that defines where to get the data to import. A data source may point to a file, a JDBC compatible database, or an LDAP organizational unit. Next term we have is transformation. The conversion of data from an import set table to another table according to the rules defined in a transform map. So when you have a staging table and you have a target table, the kind of conversation they have so that they can transform the data, whatever logic you put into transform map. But what is transform map? So the next term we have is transform map. Transform map is a set of field maps that define the relationships between fields in an import set and fields on a target table, such as incident. During transformation, data is copied from import set table to the destination table based on the transform map you mentioned or create. The last term we have is foreign record insert. A foreign record insert occurs when an import makes a change to a table that is not the target table for that import. That means I will give you a quick example. You have incident table and you are going to push some data into incident table. But on incident table, you also have some reference fields like caller. It might happen that caller is not available in your system, but with the help of import, you are able to create a caller, and that means a user directly in the user's table. So you're not even hitting user's table as part of this migration, this import, but you are creating. So that kind of insert is called foreign record insert. What are import sets? Import sets allow administrators to import data from various data sources and then map that data into ServiceNow tables. The import sets table act as a staging area for records imported from a data source. So import sets is a feature, a functionality of ServiceNow so that you can import data from different external system or different data sources. An import set table is a specific staging table. It's kind of a table which is basically created pre-transformation. So you are creating the table and whatever data you have from external system is being put over there, and then as per your logic, as per the transform map, so that you map the correct fields with your destination table, and then you import the data into the right table or the destination table you have. Then we have why we need import sets. We need import sets to import some data into ServiceNow. So let's say we have this incident table and you can see the ServiceNow system. And you have some data externally. Maybe that data is in your external system, maybe it's like a file or any other data sources we have. If that data is being imported or we have to import that data into ServiceNow, then we need this import sets functionality. Supported file formats. Now, to import the data in ServiceNow, it's also really important that you understand what are different file formats are supported by ServiceNow. So the file which are supported file format is CSV, Excel, XML, and then JSON. So these are the 4 file formats which are supported by ServiceNow to import the data into ServiceNow. Then we have data sources. Now, what are the different data sources you can utilize to import data into ServiceNow? First is file, and we already talked about the supported formats. Then we have JDBC. That means ServiceNow also allows you to create JDBC connection, and then you can import the data with the help of JDBC as well. And then we have LDAP. So if you have LDAP in your organization, ideally every organization does have this LDAPs. In that case, you can use LDAP as well. Mostly, if I talk about why LDAP, mostly organizations, they use, they import users and groups. That's what they do and directly import into ServiceNow. Transform maps. So as of now, we learned about what exactly ServiceNow can support, what are the different data sources, files you can import into ServiceNow. Now let's learn about transform maps, which plays really important role in import. Or whatever data you import into ServiceNow, this really, I think, plays an important role. Transform map is basically a set of field maps. That means you are mapping the fields between your destination table and the import set table. That means the data or the fields which you are getting from external system or external file, then you map that fields so that all the fields which you have external data, you can map them, and then that field or that data of that field will be pushed into the same field in ServiceNow. Whatever table you have, it will automatically be pushed if you will create these transform maps. Let me just explain a little bit more in detail. So you have this ServiceNow target table. You can see we have incident table, user table, group table, location table. And I have an external system as well. So you can see I have external data. It can be in XLS, that means Excel sheet, XML, or maybe via JDBC connection. So this is external data source I have. Now this data is basically imported into ServiceNow. So first it gets imported into import sets table, as you can see. But once it gets into import set table, so that data goes into import set table, then it also gets transformed. That means whatever data you have externally, first it will then transform. And then after that transformation, it goes into ServiceNow target table. So once you have done the mapping, that means you have field 1, field 2, field 3. An incident table, you have caller, maybe example, short description, or maybe description. In transform map, you have to map, because ServiceNow doesn't know which field is for short description, which field is for description, which field is for caller. So in that case, you have to map. Maybe field 2 is for caller, maybe field 1 is for short description in the external system or the external file or whatever data source you are putting. So ServiceNow is not aware of that. So that's the reason they have given this functionality of transform map, so that you can map the fields and that data will be transformed into ServiceNow destination table accordingly. Import sets application. So as I mentioned, in order to control, in order to manage these imports, ServiceNow has this application that is System Import Sets. Let's take a look in my personal developer instance. This is my personal developer instance. In order to go to import sets, you have to type in application navigator, System Import Sets. So this is the application I have where you have all these modules. I will talk about these modules quickly. So we have load data. Now here, whatever data you have, you can load it right from here. Maybe with the help of file. So you have to create a new table, or if you have an existing table, you have already created the table, then you can select this option. You also have source of import, whether you want to upload this data with the help of file, or you already have a data source, and you will find some existing data source as well. Then we have create transform map. Now, as you know, once you upload the data into that staging table, that is import set table, then you have to transform that data so that it can map the fields. That's something you will create right here. And then we have run. After mapping the fields, so if you're done, you have created the table, you have mapped the fields, and then you have to run that transform. That means data will be transformed into your destination table. Then we have one administration tab. That is data sources. So this is what I was talking about, records, where it mentions different sources you have. You can import the data. Now out of the box, you will also see some sample data sources. As you can see, some example, LDAP groups, CSV, FTP, AD, Azure, Google example, Okta example. So that means if you want to import data from these data sources as well, you can do that. It is just showing you one example for different data sources you have, as you can see right here. It's using I think one more we have, that is OIDC. So you can see we have file, JDBC, LDAP. I think OIDC was added later, but majorly I think if I talk about right now, as I can see in my Madrid instance, I still have OIDC. So you can say the overall data sources we have 4. I think if I quickly search for the OIDC, I have to check what exactly this OIDC, because I think majorly we use file, JDBC, and LDAP. Then we have transform maps. Now whatever transform maps you create, it shows you in this table. So in this module, if you click that, all the transform maps you create, you can see here. That means all the mapping of the fields. So if I click just one of the transform map, if I go at the bottom, I will show you what exactly it shows. So you can see we have these field maps. So in user table, we have a lot of fields, but we are just mapping these fields. Then we have schedule imports. Now you can also schedule the imports. That means ServiceNow, if you have, for example, LDAP or any sources, it will also schedule. That means every day, for example, in LDAP, now you want to import user data every day, maybe in your organization. Now that will be schedule imports, because you can't just stick to the one-time data, right? Because you want every user data into your ServiceNow system. So example, LDAP. So LDAP group and a user have to be like schedule. You have to create the schedule. So that is something you can do in ServiceNow as well, because you already have that data source. So ServiceNow will check that data source and again will import the data from that particular system. Then we have some advanced option over here. Under advanced, you will see we have import sets. Now, whatever data is being imported into ServiceNow, it becomes like a record for that particular instance. That one-time record, basically, which is being imported into ServiceNow, that becomes a kind of import set record. Then we have concurrent update sets. Now concurrent update sets, that means this is basically used for any large sets of data you have. But you have to remember that this kind of import sets also impact the performance of the system. So because concurrent is not, I would say you have to monitor as well. So this is only for if you have any large sets of data, then only you can use this concurrent import sets. Then you have concurrent import sets job. Now with the help of these jobs, you can just run concurrent update sets, import sets as well. Then we have progress. Now any Any import which is running right now or has completed, that is something you can see in this particular table. Then we have transform history. Now whatever data is being transformed, you have got any errors, any kind of any ignore, update. We will talk about it a little bit detail later. Then we have transform errors. So while transforming the data, did we get any kind of error? That is what you will see right here. And then we have these import logs. So this will show you the data which was like imported. That is something you can see here. It will show you the logs. So like you can see cleaning import sets 7 days old. What exactly this is cleanup? So that is, you will find in next column, next section we have, that is import sets table. Here we have cleanup. Now this cleanup is something about that which data you have to clean, because you might have a lot of import data. Now why would you keep data in your import table? Because you will keep on importing the data into your staging table, that is your import table, that you have to delete them for maybe after a particular time. So that is what you need this cleanup. So you can schedule the cleanup, you can also run it accordingly, and you can also schedule it if you want. You can see it says you want to change the frequency. That is what you can do directly from here. Let me show you the practical scenarios to import data into ServiceNow. So the first scenario we have is how to import an Excel sheet file into an incident table. So one of your customer is looking to import some data, maybe 100 records, into your incident table. Now I'm not going to import 100 incidents. I will just show you an example that how you can import that. And the requirement is that customer wants to insert new incidents. How we would do that? So let's take a look. This is my personal developer incident. I will go to my incident table first. So I would go here and maybe I will just keep one record here, and I will try to export this in Excel because we want to import in Excel format for now. I have imported this one. I will just open this sheet. So you can see this data. I will make it a little bit large so that you can see. Okay. So you can see we have number, opened, short description, caller, priority, state, category, assignment group, assigned to, updated by, external. Now, as of now, these are the columns of your incident table. But what happens when I'm not going to put that one? So in that case, I'm not going to use any number. I'm not going to use opened. I won't keep this short description. What I will do, I will try to change this. Maybe I will make it title. And here I will maybe keep, maybe I will also delete this. Priority I can do. Now this has to be, maybe I will put severity. I don't know for now, maybe because I'm just putting the data from external system. And then I have title, severity, state. Here I can, maybe I will put status. And then I have category. Maybe I will remove this for now. Assignment group, it has to be existing basically. I will still remove this for now. I will just keep title, severity, status, or I will delete this one as well. So we are just keeping these three columns for now. Maybe I will remove this one as well, or maybe we will just keep description. I think that is better for now so that you understand. Description, and this is, I will do, this is a title 1. This is a description 1. Similarly, I will copy this data here so that you understand. So as of now, we will just insert 2 records. So this is title 2 and this is description 2, and I'm going to save this. So I have saved this particular Excel sheet. Now I will go back to my instance here. Now how exactly I can import this data? So what I will do, I will go to, but before that, let's check incident table. We will go here, open, you can see we have the latest one, this one. If I do update it, so we have this one for now. So what I will do, I will go to system import sets. So I'm going to system import sets, and then I will go to load data. Here I will create a table because as of now I don't have any table for incident. So I will click on create table and I will type a name, and that label name, because it will automatically add IMP because that will be import set table. So maybe I will type incident. You can see it says u_incident. Source of import I will put for now file, and then I have this choose a file. So I will click on choose file. It will go to my system directory and I will be able to select that file. So this is the file which we just edited. File is selected and I will click on now submit. Once you will click on submit, it will say process 2. That means it has 2 records, inserts 2. But now what exactly you have to do? As of now, you have just imported the data into import set table. But now you have to transform it. You have to create the transform map. So for that, you will click on create transform map. Here you have to give the name. So maybe I will give incident. And then I have, you might find other options. So as of now, I'm not doing anything. I will just quickly give target table. And target table is incident. That is what we want our data over there. Do you want to enforce mandatory fields? We will just keep it for no for now. Copy empty. No, we don't have any empty field for now. Create new record or empty coalesce fields. That means any field which is coalesce. Now what exactly this coalesce is? That is something we will learn a little bit later. So I will just click on first auto matching fields. So what you will do, you will click on auto map matching fields. But this won't be able to do that. Now you can see it says fields map created, but it only maps this U description because it found that particular word description. That's the reason it is able to map it. But that is not what we have to do because we have one more column. So you will go to mapping assist right now. Here, now this is your source incident. This is your target. That means the data you have in your source table. So here you have to find title. You will click here, title. You will pull the title from here. So that is short description because if we want to map it with short description, I will pull short description here. You can see I have description to description mapped, title with description mapped. As an example, it will also show you the data right here. See, we have, this is the description 1, and in short description, you will definitely see that where exactly this data would be put. So it is showing you the fields of your target table and your source table you have. That is your import set table. If you will click here, map fields, it will show you that what fields are going to be mapped so that you can click here and then you can see it. Now, after mapping the fields, you can click on save. Once you click on save, your transform map will be created. Now, as of now, we are not doing any kind of scripting because we also have, like you can see, transform script. We will learn about it a little bit later as well. Once you are done with this, then you have to click on transform because you have to now transform the data. So in that case, but before that, you also need to make sure that you have some coalesce fields enabled. Is it really needed? So you will see description, no. So short description can't be coalesce. Now coalesce is something is like unique. That means, for example, number or in users table email address. Now these are the fields are unique. It shouldn't be same. That means even if you importing the data from external system, you have to make sure that there are not no duplicates. So in that case, you have to keep those fields as collays so that your data is not getting duplicated. So in that case, I will click on transform. Once you will click on transform, this will now transform the data into your target table. You can see it is telling you that this is the import set run which we will have, and this is the map which we will run. So this will available maps. It will show you all the transform maps, but it is already picking up the map which we have already created right now. So now I will click on transform. Now this is transforming the data now. That means it is transforming the data into your ServiceNow incident table. That means your task is done of import. So this is the import sets which was created. So if I go to my module here, and if you will see this import sets, if you remember, this was not there earlier, but now you have it. So if I click here, you will see the data is processed. At the bottom, you will see the logs that how exactly that running happened. So in that case, you can see total records we have 2. What exactly it did? Did it update? Did it ignore? Did it skip? Did we have any kind of errors? So the answer is no. It was able to insert 2 records. And what those rows are here. You can see we had 2 different rows for 2 columns. Here we have row 0, row 1, inserted, and these are the target records which were automatically created in ServiceNow. So how to check this? Just go to your incident table, that was your target table. Click on open. If you remember, we had these 2. This is title 2, this is title 1, and I can also pull description in my column. So I have description right here. Maybe just after a short description, I will click on OK. So you will see we have this is title 2, this is a description 2. That means you are able to import data successfully with the help of Excel sheet. The next scenario we have is how to import an XML file into user table. So as of now, you saw that we imported Excel file. But now we will import XML file into one of the user table we have in ServiceNow. Before that, I will show you that XML file which I just created to show you this demo. So that XML file we have is this one. So you can see I have this user data and I have 3 different users in this XML file. So let's say your client is providing this data. It might be in hundreds or maybe in thousands, but I'm just showing you this demo. So these are just 3 records for now. So you have 3 different records, and the fields we have, the information we have is first name and last name for 3 different records. So in that case, what we will do, we'll go to our instance and we will go to load data. That's how we imported the data into ServiceNow for Excel as well. So let's start with create table. So first we will create a table. Maybe we will create table as user. Maybe we will say user import data. So I'm creating the new table. Now here I'm selecting the source and I will upload the file. I will click here. I have this file. I will click that. And now I will click on submit. And here I will click on submit. Oh, so now you can see the error. It says only files that can be uploaded are file in CSV or Excel file in .xls or .xlsx formats. That means you cannot upload any other format directly into ServiceNow import table. Now, how exactly we will import that data then? The data which we have in XML format. But you know, we learned about it that ServiceNow does support XML as well, even JSON. So how we will import this data then? Now, this way, what exactly you can do? you have to use data sources. So we learned about data sources, different data sources we have. Now one of the source we had file one. So what you will do, you will click on data sources here. You will create a new data source. So I'm going to click here and I will give it a name. Maybe it will be SAS demo XML. I will give it a name, maybe SAS, but it's a label, so I will do SAS XML demo. Name, you can see it automatically selected. Here we will select file, but what format? Now format we have to put XML. Then we have this file retrieval method, that how this file will be retrieved. Now this file can be retrieved with different ways like FTP, STTP, SCP, SFTP. But as of now, because we don't have organizational infrastructure here, so that I can select these examples. So I will select as of now attachment, which is the default one. Now for attachment, when you select attachment, it has to have an attachment then. So in that case, I will attach the same file which I have. So I will select this XML demo. So now you can see it will not throw any kind of error. So it has attached that file. Now this data source is created, but you still need to do one more thing because you have selected XML. So it is adding one more information, one more field to you so that you can put that information. That is XPath. Now, in order to learn about XPath, if you're not aware of it, please go on Google and try to search for it and you will understand. But I will still tell you what exactly XPath is. Now, XPath is something, the nodes which you have in your XML data. So for example, I will go to my XML data again. Now you can see we have nodes like user data, then we have user. Now it might happen that you might have a large XML file, but it might happen that you don't need every record or every node information. So in that case, whatever node information you need, you can just select it. How to select it, I will show as part of this example. So we have this user data. Under that, we have this node user. So I will go back to my instance. Here I will do slash and I will mention user data, our first node. And then I will go to our second node, that is user. That's it. You are done. Do we need to expand? No. Do we need to zip? No, nothing. I will just click on save. You are done. You have created this data source. Now how we will upload it then in our user table? So in that case, I will go again to load data. If you remember, it threw an error, but now we will create that table again. So it's user import. And now I will do source of import should be selected data source, because file, it was not allowing to do that. So we will select data source. It will automatically give you all this data source we have, but we have to select this one, SAS demo XML. And now I will click on submit. When I will click on submit, you can see it is able to process it. It also found 3 records. You can see it inserted 3 records in the staging table, in the import set table. Now we have to create the transform map now. So I will click on transform map, create transform map. I will give it a name. So that is user import transform. Here I have target table. Now target table would be sys underscore user. I should be able to get that. So I have this sys underscore user table. Run business rules. No, I don't. Yes, if I have to, you can do that after transforming the data. If you want to run any business rule, you can also do that. Create new record on empty coalesce fields. If you have empty, the data is not there. So do you still want to create new record? Let's do that. Or maybe let's not check this. We will see whether we are able to create data or not. It says auto map matching fields. I don't think it will be able to auto match. So we have to go to map assist, mapping assist. So I will click here. Now it will show you the tables, table fields. So you can, if you remember, we have this first name, last name. Now, apart from that, these are all existing. That means automatically created fields into your import set table. So you already have these columns into your import set table. So you will select this one. I will select first name. So from here, I do have first name in my user record. So I will go to first name. Yes, I do have. I will pull it here. Then I will select last name. And from here, I will select last name as well. And last name is selected. So I have mapped the fields. You can see here all the mapped fields as well, like how exactly they will be mapped. But you can see Fred Ludi is already there in your system. Let's see if it does something. So in that case, I will click on save. So it's saved both first name, last name. I don't want to put any kind of colist, because why you would put for first name and last name? Because first and last name cannot be unique. Names, like everybody can have different times name, even same names as well. So you don't have to select any kind of colist here. Now you have to transform this data. But before that, we will directly go into our system. So I will go to sys user.list, because I will keep it open and I will see if I am able to see my new data. I will go here and maybe I will just select created one. I already have created. I will sort it from like this, Z to A. And then I will go here and I will click on transform now. So ideally it should create 3 different users into your user table. So I will click on transform. Now it will ask me to run the transform which was just created, this one, user import transform, and I will click on run transform. It's done. You can do one thing, you can check it. So before checking the results, you can directly see here as well. Import sets one, yes, it did insert 3 records. So before checking it, you can still check here first whether your data was successfully transformed or not. And then you can go here, you had 3 rows. These were the target records. And if I go here, let's refresh it. And if I refresh it, awesome. So user ID are blank, but you have these records: Gaurav Tripathi, John Bill, Fred Ludi. How about some scripting? I'm sure that you will be interested to see some scripting as well. So let's say we have these user ID, but it is not pushing any user ID automatically. Now there are different ways you can do that. Maybe you can write a business rule over here, so that every time you write a business rule, every time that business rules will run, it will automatically concatenate the names and then create the user ID if you want, like first name, last name. But what we will do, we will try to make it better directly into a transform, because I want to show you that you can also add a scripting into your transform. How? How can we do that? So in that case, let's go here. Let's go to your transform map. So what we will do, we will go to system import. We are right here. We will go to our transform maps, and the map which we just created, that was user import transform. Now this was the transform which we created. In order to do scripting, I have to check this box, run script. When you will check this box, you can run your script directly during the transformation. Now if you also want different scripting, depends on the requirement you have, then you have this option as well, that is called transform scripts. And I will just quickly show you. I will not create it right now. I will quickly show you what exactly this transform script will do. You can see, you can create these transform script on start. That means when transform will start, on reject, on foreign insert, that any external data in any other table is being inserted, on complete, when transform is completed, if you want to do something, any new choices created, on before, that means before transform or after transform. So it's totally depends the kind of requirement you have, and then you can run these transform scripts. But as of now, I will directly run this script directly on the transform. So I will go here. I will click on run script, and here I will write the script. So if you remember, I have source. So in source, I have first name. So what I will do target dot, which one? We have user underscore name. This one, that is the user ID. If you remember, this one, this is username. So what I will do, whenever a new record will be inserted, it will automatically push the user ID as well. So I don't have to do that manually, or maybe via business rule as well. So in that case, what I can do, you can just target dot username equal to, and then you can put source. Now you want to develop that particular user ID, but the logic you want to put first name plus last name. So for that, we will do source dot first name plus, here I will put a string that is dot, and then I will do plus, I will do source dot last name. That's it. You are done. Your scripting is done. No business rules are required here. So in that case, I will save it. Now I will create again these 3 records, and you will see the difference. What I need to do, I will click on load data again. Now this time I don't have to create a new table because table is already created. So I will just select the table which I had, that is user import here. I will select the data source which I have, same one. I don't have to change the data. I will click on submit. Done. Data is loaded into the import set table. And even I don't have to create the transform map. The reason behind it, because that was already created. So in that case, I can just click on run transform. It will automatically show you which transform you have to run, and it will also select that one. So sometime it can show you right here, but as of now, it has that available maps here, and then it is already selecting this one. I will just click on transform. Once you will click on transform, it's done, success. I will click here. You will see, yes, the target record, it inserted 1 record, but it didn't inserted these 2. There should be a reason. And guys, I think this is really, I would say, good opportunity, because we are getting errors. When you see the errors, you'll be able to understand you might get these errors in your import as well. So why we got this error? So it completed with errors. So 1 was inserted and 2 not, with errors. What you can do, you can just go here and just click on here. And I think it's not showing the error directly right here. I will select this one. Open. Okay. But you can see the error. I think it's not showing in that particular view, but you can directly click on the error. It says error during insert of sys user Fred Ludi. Why? I will show you why. So as of now, but it only inserted this one. So there should be some reason that why this particular record was able to create, but why not these 2? So I will do one thing. I will go to my users table again. I will refresh it. You can see here it says undefined dot undefined. That means it was not able to recognize the source data. That's the reason. So the field which we just created over there, it was not able to recognize. So, and the reason why other 2 records were not created, because user ID cannot be same, because it's coalesce. It's ideally already on the system level. So that's the reason it rejected other 2 records. So what we will do, let's see our script. There should be some issue. So we'll go back to our script here. We have this target.username equal to first name plus last name. If I go bottom, you will see the name is u underscore. That's our source field. So in that case, and that is the main reason your script is not working. So what you will do u underscore and just save this. And I'm sure now this will definitely create something. So we will go back to our load data, existing table. We will select existing one. I will keep the same data source, and now I will click on submit. When I will click on submit, it will pick 3 records, inserts. I will click on run transform. When I will click on run transform, it will select the existing transform map I have, and then I will click on transform. It's done. Let's see if I am getting any error. It still says completed with errors, but this time I got 2 inserts but 1 error. And I go here, and the part is it is able to insert Gaurav Tripathi and John Bill, but not this one, Fred Ludi one. Let's go to here and refresh it. When I'm refreshing, you can see it is able to push Gaurav.Tripathi and also John Bill, but the third one was not created. That was Fred.Ludi. That record was not created. It was created earlier, but when we tried to concatenated the first name and last name in user ID, then it didn't work. Why? Because that user ID is already there. Let me search it. Yes, that's the reason. So you can see that user ID was already available, and ServiceNow won't allow you in user table automatically directly from the system table. It already has that business rule that you can't insert a duplicate user ID. So in that case, that's the reason your third record was not created. And that's how you can do scripting in transform map as well. So whatever data, external data you have, whenever you do any kind of migration or any kind of import in ServiceNow, you have to just remember that how exactly you will align that data into your target table. Maybe with the help of a scripting, maybe directly mapping, whatever. Because sometimes it might happen that external data might not have similar kind of data which you have in ServiceNow. And you will find this kind of situation every time you do a bigger migration. So you have to be precautious with these data migrations. So you have to make sure that whatever scripting you have written, it is transforming the data accordingly as per the existing fields you have, as per the format you have into your tables in ServiceNow. So that's how you import data into ServiceNow in Excel format, or if you have XML format with the direct uploading feature, or if you have any XML file, that how exactly you can utilize data source as well. I hope you liked my video. So thanks for watching and have a great day.